Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Gyan Vigyan. In this video, we will discuss some special cases of one-dimensional elastic collision. In our previous videos, we have already discussed different points of collision, different points of one-dimensional elastic collision. Okay, in this video, we mainly concentrate on some special cases of one-dimensional elastic collision. So just first recall what is one-dimensional elastic collision. One-dimensional elastic collision is if the two colliding particles are moving in the same line before and after the collision, then this is one-dimensional collision. Okay, and this we can also term it as head-on collision. Okay, so let's see this process, collision process. These are moving like this, and after collision it will move in the opposite direction. Okay, so before and after their movement are in the same line, so this is one-dimensional collision. As it is, we have considered it as elastic collision, so we have to keep in mind that the energy, total energy and momentum of the colliding particles during this system are conserved. Okay, so let's see some special cases. The first case is particles have same mass. Suppose the colliding particles have same masses. Okay, for that what will happen? This is m1 and this is m2. If these two m1 and m2 are same, then what? m1 equal to m2. Okay, these two mass are same. Then if we put this value m1 is equal to m2 in equation which already we have derived in our previous video for final velocities of the colliding particles after collision, then we will get the final velocity v1 is equal to u2 and v2 is equal to u1. Okay, let's see how we will get this one. The final velocity expression that we have already derived was v1 is equal to m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 u1 plus twice m2 divided by m2 plus m1 u2. So this is the expression for final velocity of the particle m1, that is first particle. Okay, so if we put here m1 is equal to m2, then m1 minus m2 will be 0, so therefore this portion goes to 0. So what will remain? v1 equal to twice m2 divided by m1 plus m2 u2. Okay, so here again m1 plus m2, as m1 is equal to m2, therefore this portion m1 plus m2 will give us twice m2. So this twice m2, this twice m2 get cancelled, and what will remain? v1 is equal to u2. Okay, similarly if we put m1 is equal to m2 in the expression for v2 that we have already derived, then we will get v2 is equal to u1. So what we have got v2 is equal to u1 and v1 is equal to u2. Let's see here. v1 and v2 is the final velocities of the particle of same mass after collision, and u1 u2 is the velocities of the particles before collision. Okay, so if we see here, these two velocities are just interchange. Okay, that means what? If two particles of same mass collide to each other, then their final velocities will be just their interchange initial velocities, that is velocities before collision. Okay, so let's see what will happen. This is m1 with velocity u1 and this is m2. This will collide like this, then move in the backward direction. Okay, so let's see here. The after collision, the particle have the velocity u2 and this particle have the velocity u1. So this u1 was the initial velocity of this particle and this velocity u2 was the initial velocity of this particle. That means what? Because of this collision, these two particles just interchange their initial velocities. Okay, so here we have from the equation 3 and 4 that we have already derived in our previous video, we will get this v1 and u2 and v2 is equal to u1. Okay, so from this we can conclude that one-dimensional elastic collision of two equal mass, the particles simply interchange their velocities after collision. Okay, so let's see another case where the particles of same mass and one particle is at rest. Okay, for this case what will happen? Suppose this is one particle and this is another particle. Okay, this particle is at rest, this velocity is u1, this is velocity u2. As this particle is at rest, therefore u2 is equal to 0. Okay, as u2 is equal to 0, we have already got in the earlier case v1 is equal to u2 and v2 is equal to u1. Here as vu2 is equal to 0, in this case v1 will be 0. Okay, so that means what? If the colliding particles having same mass, one of the mass is at rest, then after collision what will happen? The first moving particle will be stopped and the second particle which was at rest after collision will move with the initial velocity of the first particle. Okay, so let's see. These are the condition. Okay, and these two particles, let's see, this particle is moving like this and this one is at rest, collide, the first one stop and the second one is moving in this direction. Okay, and let's see, this was the first particle, it stopped here after collision, therefore its final velocity v1 is equal to 0, and the second particle was at rest here before collision, so after collision it moved in this direction and have the velocity v2 is equal to u1, and u1 was the initial velocity of this particle. That means what? If the two particles have same mass and one particle is at rest, then the first particle stopped after collision and the second particle will move in the same direction with the initial velocity of the first one. Okay, so this is the conclusion that we can have throughout this collision process of two same mass particle where one particle is initially at rest. Okay, so this is the conclusion. So then let's see another case. Here the particle at rest is very mass. Now consider the colliding particles are of different masses, and one of the mass is very massive particle, one particle is very massive, that is mass is more than the compared to the another one. Okay, then what will happen? Suppose this particle m1 and this is particle m2. This is massive compared to the m1, and this particle is at rest. Therefore, if this first particle have velocity u1 and this is u2, then u2 will be 0, because this particle is at rest. As u2 is equal to 0 and m2 is very massive, therefore compared to m2 we can have m1 is equal to 0. Therefore we have m1 minus m2 is equal to minus m2, and m1 plus m2 is equal to m2. Okay, this will be the condition if one mass is massive and at rest, initially at rest. So if we put this value m1 minus m2 is equal to minus m1 and m1 plus m2 is equal to m2 in the expression for final velocities of particle after collision, then we will get what we will get v1 equal to minus u1 and v2 is equal to 0. Okay, if we put on that expression, okay, then we will get this one. That means what? The massive particle will remain at rest and the moving light particle after collision will move in the reverse direction with the same velocity. v1 is the final velocity, which is equal to minus u1, where u1 was the initial velocity. So the light particle after collision will move in the reverse direction with the same velocity. Okay, and the massive particle continues its rest position. Okay, so here m2 is very greater than m1 and u2 is equal to 0 as m2 is at rest, and we will get, as m1 is very less compared to m2, we will get this one, as already we have got, and therefore we will get this v1 is equal to minus u1 and v2 is equal to 0. Let's see collision process. This is light particle and this is massive particle. Okay, so it will collide like this. Okay, light particle is moving towards the, and then after collision it just move in the backward direction with velocity v1 is equal to, here you can see the velocity v1 is equal to minus u1 and this particle remain at rest. Okay, here v2 will be 0. Okay, so this is the conclusion. When a very light particle collide with a very massive particle at rest, the heavy particle continues to remain at rest and the velocity of the light particle will just reverse. Okay, next condition is if the particle at rest is very light. Here what happened? Suppose this is particle m1 and this is particle m2. Here m2 is very light. Okay, very light particle. This is heavy particle m1 and this is light particle m2, and this m2 is at rest, therefore u2 is equal to 0. Here the velocity is u1. Okay, so the light particle is at rest. So after this, as this particle is moving with this velocity, so it will collide with this light particle. Okay, then what will happen? The velocity of this heavy particle will be v1 is equal to u1. Okay, that means what? The heavy particle will move with the same velocity and the light particle which was initially at rest will move with a velocity equal to twice of u1. That means it will move with the velocity that is double to the initial velocity of the heavier particle. Okay, so let's see. This will be the condition. Therefore, we will get this one. V1 is equal to u1. V1 is the final velocity of the first particle and V2 is the velocity of the second particle. So these are the two particles. This one is light particle which is at rest, and this is to some extent this is heavier particle than this one. So it will have the velocity u1, move in this direction, collide with this one, and after collision it will continue its movement in this direction with same velocity u1, but this light particle which was at rest after collision will move in this direction with velocity twice of u1. Okay, that is double of the initial velocity of the particle m1. Okay, so let's see, colliding like this one, and the second one will move twice u1 and the first one will move with the same velocity u1. Okay, so from this condition we can arrive at the conclusion that for a collision where the heavy particle is moving and light particle is at rest, then after collision the heavy particle remain in the same velocity in the same direction, but the light particle will move with the twice of the initial velocity of the heavy particle. That means the speed of the light particle will be twice that of the heavy particle after collision. Okay, so these are the main conditions in one-dimensional elastic collision. This type of cases we generally encounter in our day-to-day life. Okay, where masses are different, some masses are at rest, some are moving like this. So these are our day-to-day life cases. So from above discussion we can arrive at some conclusion that in elastic collision the total kinetic energy is conserved. Okay, so but we cannot say that the kinetic energy is conserved at any instant of time during the collision process. Okay, so that means what? When the particles collide to each other, they may be deformed due to the force impact on each other, and the energy kinetic one part of kinetic energies are used to deform the particles. Okay, so as the collision over, the particle regain its shape and the energy that was used to deform the particle released to keep the total energy constant. Okay, so that's why we cannot say that at every instant of time kinetic energy is not conserved during the process. Only the total energy, kinetic energy, is conserved. Okay, therefore the collision where there is no loss of kinetic energy, this is the perfectly elastic collision, but it is an ideal situation. In practically we cannot have a perfectly elastic collision. That means what? There will be a small amount of energy may be lost during the collision. Therefore that's why we can have the another type of collision which is called inelastic collision. In our next video we will try to discuss about the characteristics of inelastic collision. Okay, thank you for watching this video. See all of you in my next video.